believe it's Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yep.
Shang-Chi.
They
I'm.
say in the movie, but
That's
it's hard
yeah.
to say.
I think everybody says Shang-Chi, but I think it's Shang-Chi, I believe. So, right off the bat, I am here with Mr. Marvel himself, Albert, who was able to attend the IMAX screening.
Yep.
And you couldn't put out your reviews just yet. The embargo has been lifted, but we're doing something a little different. We're actually going to spoil the whole movie for you, beginning, middle, and end. You'll get the post-credit scenes. You'll get that crazy scene with Abomination and Wong. What's that all about? I have some questions for Albert. Hopefully, he can answer as well. So, if you just tuning in right now, I'm telling you right now, this is a spoiler discussion. We're not doing a regular review. We're doing spoilers. So, we're gonna break down this whole film. I have not seen the film. Albert has, but I am willing to hear what's going on in this film, and I will still go watch the film as well, whether I like what I'm hearing or not. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more. I just put out my thoughts on the leaked Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but we are going to be talking about more Spider-Man tomorrow and the What If episode tonight. That's going to happen tomorrow. So a lot of Marvel stuff we're covering this week. Like the video so we can get this thing going, the algorithm and everything, and also hit the bell icon to get all the notifications for everything Marvel and everything on this channel. With that out of the way, spoilers. So, Albert, before we get into the film, you got a nice surprise before the screening of the film, and you
Yep.
saw this in Los Angeles, Universal Studios or
No, no,
Universal
no.
City
The
Walk.
Chinese theater. The Chinese
Oh,
theater.
the Chinese theater. That's right. Okay,
Yes.
Chinese
Chinese
theater.
theater.
You saw this at the Chinese theater, and
Which
who
was
came
fitting
out?
for this movie.
I know, right?
Chinese hero. But
So
so you're asking me who came out?
yeah,
What
who
the
was the
surprise
special
was?
guest?
All right. So when we're in line, I was telling my family, "Oh man, it'd be crazy if this happened." But then I was like, "I don't know," because I feel like this guy is here. So then we sat down. Um, at 7, the movie's supposed to start. Around 7:10, there was no trailers. So around 7:10, we hear someone saying, "Oh, we have some technical difficulties. We'll get the movie started soon." And like everyone's like, oh, great, whatever. Dude, it was a live crowd. Like that crowd was hot, so we're like clapping because like, oh man, the movie's gonna start soon.
Hmm.
And then the same voice, like 5 seconds later, is like, I'm sorry, we're having a lot of technical issues. And then like people are looking off to the side, and I'm like, that's weird. That sounds like a joke. No one really like his name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Simu Liu, I believe.
Yes, yes, the main actor.
So then he comes out. No one really knows his voice yet, right? Because
Yeah,
we haven't really seen the movie yet. So
yeah.
like his voice didn't tip us off. It wasn't until he started coming out. Everyone, dude, got up and we're all clapping. And he gets to the main stage and he welcomes everyone. He thanks us for coming. We don't have our phones. The security got everyone's phones before we could get in.
Okay, so heavy security in the
Yep,
screening.
heavy
Okay.
security. No phones, no smartwatches. So and I feel like everyone, when he came out, went for their phones in their pockets and then realized they didn't have it. So, like, that's why you won't see any of that on social media. The only people recording was there was like the manager of the theater that had her phone, but I don't think
Uh,
she was recording. Um, there was like 3 people behind him that were recording it, I believe, for Marvel and for him.
yeah.
So there is footage of it, but I haven't seen it online. But yeah, he came out and man, we erupted. It was cool to see. Even though we hadn't seen the movie, I was telling my family it would have been cool if he came out after the movie because now everyone would have cared for him, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it was so cool to see him before because it was my first time seeing MCU actor like in person.
Live.
I
Yeah.
wasn't super close to the front, um, but like I saw him. It was cool. It was great. I think he looked at me. I don't know, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
he came out and it was fun. It was cool. It was a good experience.
That's very awesome. Okay, let's jump right into this, Paul. This is spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything, once again, guys, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. That's the last warning I'm giving. We are going to dive into this, so everything that Albert has seen, he is going to speak of. So let's do it.
Let's get it.
Let's start from the first act. So the beginning of the film. What do we get in the beginning of the film, Albert?
All right, I'll tell you. Well, So you know how some Marvel movies they have a scene before the Marvel Studios logo? This one didn't have that. So it gives
Oh.
you the Marvel Studios logo, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like no special song or anything. It's just the original like theme. Um, so we get that, and then the movie jumps into, I believe it was like 20 years ago. I believe it was 1996.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we're in the past, and the Shang-Chi's mom is giving him a story. That's how the movie starts. She's giving him a story about basically his dad, who his name was Wenwu, that we know is like the real Mandarin, right? So
Oh, so
they're
this
giving
is the Mandarin.
this is the Mandarin, and we'll get to
Okay.
that later
Okay.
because it's kind of the Mandarin. He talks about it, he mentions it, but it
Okay.
starts with a backstory. Shang-Chi's mom, I forgot her name, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
names that were hard to pronounce also. But um, his mom is telling the story about his dad and about the 10 rings and how he's, I believe, like 4,000 years old or something like that. The rings keep him young, right? So she's telling him about how he's had these rings and he's been able to be in power all these years, and he was basically like a conqueror, and he conquered everything, right? He conquered everything that he wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he got bored, so he went out to these woods, and in these woods he met Shang-Chi's mom, who was like a descendant of some other realm where she had powers too, right?
Damn.
And he wanted to get to that realm, but like she was there to make sure that he didn't. Um, so then they're fighting, and while they're fighting, it's really cool because it's like choreographed, like a fight, but also a dance. And then they end up falling in love, right? And that's how Shang-Chi was born. He was born from this woman that's from like another realm, and then this man that's like 4,000 years old. It's crazy, but it was really beautiful, honestly, when they're fighting and then they're like dancing. So
Mm-hmm.
the story ends with Shang-Chi asking his mom um, how she lost, because she says that she lost, but we never see it. Um, if she was so powerful, right? And like, what happened to her powers? And I forget exactly what she said, but basically she chose to be with him than to like stay in that place and have her powers. So she doesn't have her powers anymore. And
Okay.
then the movie jumps 20 years into the present, and we see Shang-Chi now living in San Francisco. So it doesn't tell you right away like what happened, why he's not over there anymore. Because you just see him in San Francisco, and it slows down a bit. It's really comedic. It introduces Awkwafina's character, Katie,
Mm.
and they're just working a ballet like at a hotel or something. So do you have any questions yet?
So you're saying that Shang-Chi's mother and his father, it's like it sounds like your typical love story of enemies kind of fighting within each
Yep.
other, but then falling in love. I hear that so you're saying the choreography is kind of like a dancing choreography. I've heard that it's kind of like a was it hidden tiger, hidden dragon type kind of film, like one of those kind of swordplay kind of films, a lot of like kind of flying in the air, but you're saying it's kind of more like of a dance
Yeah, for those two it was.
for those two. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
It was
Um,
it was more like a contrast between their fighting styles, because Wenwu is just being a savage with the 10 rings, which by the way are badass. But
yeah,
Shang-Chi's mom is the one that's like fighting all elegant and stuff, and like pretty much forces them to like fight in this dance like kind of fight.
that's
Um,
kind of crazy that his father is like conquering. He's kind of like an Alexander the Great and just conquering everything. And I'm
yep.
very interested with the mom. And you're saying she's like has powers and has this
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that's it. Yeah, I want to hear more, man.
She
Keep on going.
she
Keep on.
she was like kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, uh,
Okay,
in a
I was kind
way.
of thinking that a little bit too.
Yeah,
There's a
with
little
the
Avatar in there, huh?
because I know how I remember like in Avatar they're discussing how I believe it was either the waterbenders or the airbenders, like they're more elegant, and like firebenders and earthbenders are more like savage.
Yeah,
That was what it reminded me of. But
they're more
yeah,
brute strength, while
yeah,
the water benders are more fluid, like
there
more.
you go. So that's
Yeah,
basically what it was. Wenwu was brute strength, and then the
very
mom
cool.
was
Very
more
cool.
fluid. So it was cool to see that. Um, but yeah, the 10 rings, they're badass. We'll get more into it.
So the 10 rings, seeing the trailers and stuff, so they're
Mhm.
kind of like it's not like they're on his finger. They're on his kind of forearm, right?
Yeah, there's five on each arm,
Mm-hmm.
and he uses them kind of like whiplashes. Like they are like they come out of his arms,
Yeah,
and he can use them as like whiplashes or as projectiles. It's really cool. It's really crazy. Like he can use them as shields and stuff.
yeah,
I just loved it. Like it was so different to see um, like that kind of weapon in the Marvel cinematic universe.
yeah,
It was refreshing because we like we see guns all the times and like lasers and stuff, but these were like some crazy ass fucking whiplashes. It was really cool, but yeah, big difference from the comic book because in the comic book each ring has like its own power. They
yeah.
don't get into that. Like they all we know is that they're keeping him young and like
Oh,
they give
okay.
him strength. And there's a big reveal at the end.
Okay, say
These
that for the end.
rings, yeah, there's
Say
a
that
big
for the end.
reveal. So
Okay.
um,
So
yeah,
we're in
they're
San
different from
Francisco.
the comics.
Different. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that's it. You could tell. You could totally tell when you're watching a trailer that there's going to be
Mhm.
some things that, of course, Marvel does. The MCU, at least in the film wise, always changes up something that fits the film itself. Okay, so we're in San Francisco. We just met our lead, Shang-Chi and Awkwafina.
Yep.
They're valet. What happens after that?
All right, so we're just like in their life, right? Their normal life, and it's following them. They're like best friends. I don't get that they're a romance throughout any of the movie. They're never really romantic. They're just best
Okay,
buds.
I thought that
So
maybe
I like
eventually
that.
they'll become romantic, but
Nope,
I do
nope.
like the fact that they're just good friends.
Yeah, up until the very end, there's like no romance. Even at that, like there's just no romance. It's just they're best friends, which I really like that, because it's also refreshing because there's a lot of times where they force a romantic relationship in these movies that when they don't need it.
Yeah.
This one didn't need it. It was more to do with the family. So they're just best friends, which is cool. So we're just seeing the regular day life as a valet, and then like they go their separate ways at the end of their shift. And then like the next day, Shang-Chi goes to her house for like breakfast. And it's funny because you get a little joke where the Katie's grandmother's like, "Oh, when are you two gonna get married?" and stuff like that, right? So like they're not romantically involved, but it's like that joke where two friends from opposite genders are
Would
gonna
you
ask
would
like,
you say later on they could be though?
they might be, yeah, because I don't know. It could go either way, honestly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we'll see. But yeah,
Okay.
so then on their way to work, so this is the next morning, right? On their way to work, they're on the bus, and then I don't know if you've seen the trailers, but
So
this is
the
where that
fight
fight
scene.
scene starts. Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
fight scene. So at first, so there's Razor Claw, right? At first, he's not fighting; he's just in the back. It's all these other thugs that are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But Shang-Chi has this amulet, like this necklace around his neck that his mom gave him when they were younger, right? We don't know what it does yet or anything, but the thugs say that they want it. So they're Shang-Chi's like, "Oh, I don't want like any problem. You have the wrong guy," and then they're trying to get that. The fight starts after one of them gets Katie's face and like shoves it in the in the mirror, which is and not the mirror, the window,
Uh-huh.
which seemed brutal. Um, but it was also kind of funny just because it happened all of a sudden. So then that's when Shang-Chi throws the first punch, right?
Yeah.
And he's not he's not like a superhuman or anything. He's just a regular guy. He's just super trained in martial arts.
Okay.
So he's fighting all these goons, and then that's when Razor Fist or whatever gets up, and then they're fighting. Super dope action sequence. The like camera work and everything was cool. Um, but at the end, they Shang-Chi like saves everyone on the bus, and but he does lose the necklace and like the process of saving everyone. Like he doesn't
Okay.
realize that Razor Fist grabs it from him. But before like they separate, Razor Fist tells him that you and your sister deserve everything that's coming your way. And I didn't know that he had a sister. I don't know if they ever mentioned that in the trailers or anything, but I was like,
It's
what?
I'm
Shang-Chi has
assuming
a sister?
I'm assuming it's the short haired chick in the trailer.
Yes, it is. So
Oh, okay.
but I didn't know that, so I was like, "What
Yeah.
the heck?" At first, I thought, like, "Well, was he talking about Katie? Does he think they're brothers and sisters?" But nah, he was talking about his sister.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Um.
that ends. So do you have any questions there in that scene?
Yeah. So, Razor Fist.
Mm-hmm.
How is he as a villain? Is he just your typical goon that comes
He's
and
just,
goes, or
he's
is
just your
he?
goon, and he has some comedy. Yeah,
Okay.
he's just following instructions. He's not really taking charge of anything. He's working like for Wenwu, you know.
Do you
So
like him as a character?
I like him. I feel like um so at the end, but he doesn't die, right? So I feel like we could see
Okay.
more of him. They could utilize him in a more important role. He'd be like the perfect character to like be in a Disney Plus series like Zemo was, and
Oh, really?
I feel like it would. I mean, he didn't really do much or say much, but I feel like he could. It was an actor from like the first Creed movie, Drago. So I haven't really seen him in anything else besides that, but
Oh, it was.
I
It's the
I
actor from
liked
the
him.
second one, right?
No, the first one, the first Creed movie, the
Okay.
guy who fights at the end.
No, I thought that because he fight. Oh, maybe it is. I can't remember. I can't. Okay, he fight the first Creed movie. So my worry was the CGI. So this is your first major kind of, I guess, fight. How is the CGI in this? Do you think the train sequence? I'm assuming they're going to need the CGI in that one because there's a lot of high flying stuff. I mean, you see the train kind of get detached and stuff. How long is the fight? And does the CGI kind of take over this film?
The CGI takes over in the later parts of this. In the train, you don't really notice it. The only thing that was kind of like weird was Razorfist's his actual what's it called claw or whatever his sword
Yeah.
that comes out of him. It's just like is it nanotechnology or what? It doesn't really make sense. They never go into that.
Mm,
Um, but the CGI around the train and everything, it's fine. I didn't notice anything. Yeah, the final battle is the CGI heavy battle of of the movie.
okay.
But it was probably like 3 5 minutes long. The fight here, it was cool. Um, Katie, she like takes over. The guy that's driving the bus gets knocked out, so then Katie like takes over. Right, she's works in ballet, so she knows how to drive cars in
Okay.
San Francisco. So she has like this little hero moment too. It's like her and Shang-Chi saving the day there. Um, so yeah, it was cool. The bus, I mean, yeah, the bus scene, it was cool. I liked it.
Okay. So let's continue. What else happens right after this particular scene?
So look, this is where I'm not gonna remember exactly where these scenes happened because there was a lot of flashbacks, and I don't remember. I can't tell you exactly when these flashbacks are happening, but they're to show you the backstory of Shang-Chi, his mom, and his sister. So, um, I'll give you the beginning of it. Shang-Chi's mom dies. She's not alive anymore in the present, right?
Oh, really?
So yeah, she died in the past,
In the trailer,
and
it kind of looked like, oh, you know what? Now that
mhm,
you tell me that the two were fighting, that's probably the beginning of the
mhm, when the
movie
two
in
are
the
fighting,
trailer.
that is the beginning. That's before
Okay.
Shang-Chi's born.
Okay.
Um, but when I saw the trailers, she's like speaking to Shang-Chi. I thought that was her speaking to current Shang-Chi because
Yeah.
she's saying, "You're as much as me as you are like your dad or whatever, or you're as much to him as you are as me." Now
Yeah.
she's telling him that at a young age. Um, I thought that was in the present, but now her mom, she died, and they don't tell you right away. There's another flashback. Um, but basically, when they started a family, it's revealed that Wenwu put away the 10 rings because he finally found something in his life to grow old for. Like they were a good family, right?
Oh, okay.
And
That's good. That's nice. I like that.
and so they don't reveal how she died, but then after she died, um, Wenwu said that like it was his fault, and later it's like revealed it kind of was, but so after she died, he goes back to his ways of being like the conqueror, right? His group is called the Ten Rings. Um,
Yeah.
that's his like clan's name or whatever. So
We
after the
saw
mom
that. We
died,
saw it in the first Iron Man,
we
and in
did.
Iron Man 3. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
So and in Ant Man,
Oh yeah, that's
uh,
right. Ant Man.
and I don't know where else, but yeah. So after the mom died, he was training Shang Chi from the age of 7. Yeah, so she died when he was 7 years old.
Okay.
Um, so then what's it called? He was getting trained like savagely trained, dude. Like they were training his ass off. It was like child abuse how hard they were training him. But they
Yeah.
trained him for 7 years,
When I
from
saw the
7 to
trailer and
14.
him training, it
Mm-hmm.
looked like the training in Batman Begins when Bruce
Uh huh.
does his training. It felt very similar to that when he was training with Raj Al Ghul.
Yeah, it was similar to that.
Okay.
So, but like he's a kid, he's 7. Um, but at age 14, that's when his training stops, and they send him on the mission, and the mission is to kill the person responsible for like his mother's death. Um, but things happen that's revealed in a later flashback. So yeah, he was trained for 7 years, 7 to 14. Um, that's all his like martial arts training. And then the sister was never allowed to be trained since she was a woman.
Mm.
So it cuts back to the future. I mean, to like the present, right? Which, by the way, this movie takes place after Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes place after Endgame, and I wasn't really sure when it took place, but like by the end, it is. So Shang-Chi and Katie, he's all like, "Oh, I gotta go back home. My sister sent me this postcard, and I believe that's her address. I need to go see her." And then like he's explaining to Katie who he is and whatever because she wants to know. And Katie, being like a true homie, she drops everything in her life to go with him to China.
Damn.
So they're like, damn, that's a real good friend.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Hope you do that
so
for me.
so like I don't know if that's the end of the first act, but then they go to China, and that's where he's giving her more of his backstory. All right, so that's when it shows the flashback because he's telling her about his life,
Okay.
and as he's telling her, it's showing us the flashback. So that's how you get that flashback. So then he gets to his sister, the address that they sent him, which was somewhere in China. I don't remember. But that address was where that tournament from the trailer takes place.
Ooh, yeah, the juicy
Yep.
stuff. This is what
Yep.
I want
This
to
is
know for
this
sure.
is where it starts getting good. This is where it gets like pretty crazy.
Before we
Um,
get into this, I just got to ask
mhm,
this question: is there really good chemistry between Shang-Chi and Awkwafina? And
mhm,
how is the performance so far in this film with is it Simu Lui? How is he
mhm.
doing as Shang-Chi?
They have good chemistry, I would say. Shang-Chi is doing fine. Aquafina, she's like, I haven't seen her in too many stuff, but she could be kind of annoying sometimes in her other movies. But in this movie, like they used her really well. She was never annoying or anything.
Especially
So their
definitely
chemistry.
the comedic
Mhm.
yeah, very comedic. Yeah.
So they used her very good, very well in this movie, and they worked well together. And then Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, I'd say he did a great job. I remember hearing stories that like he had trouble showing emotion, um, but there was never really a moment where he had to show emotion because when his mom died, that was like another actor that had to show emotion, not
Okay.
him,
Yeah.
since it was a
A younger
pastor. Yeah,
version of him.
he did well. I liked his portrayal. The comedy was good. When they were serious, it was good. Um, so I'd say he did well. Yeah.
Okay.
Same
All
with
right.
Katie Aquafina. And just take a drink of water.
Okay. So let's get it because this is what everybody was talking about in the trailer was the tournament. So tell us about this tournament that's going on.
All right. Yep. So it's like in this high rise, right? It's above this building. Um, then the elevator, they get up there, and then they're walking, and there's this like main cage where the big fights happen, but then there's also these smaller cells where smaller fights happen.
Mm.
And in one of those cells, you see a former Black Widow fighting.
Ooh, no,
And
really?
yeah, she was in the Black Widow movie. She was like one of the Asian Black Widows. She's here fighting. She still has her Black Widow uniform. It's altered a bit, but she's like fighting someone, and they actually the guy that's showing Shang-Chi and Katie around, he like calls her by her name, and he's like, oh yeah, like she's well known or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Or he's like supporting her, like, oh, way to go. I forgot what her name was, but yeah, it's like a former Black Widow. She's here fighting, which is pretty cool.
very cool.
And then they get to the main stage, and the main stage, that's when you see Wong and Abomination are fighting,
Yeah,
and it's a short fight. It's a short
I
fight,
knew it. I knew
but
it.
it was yeah, it's a short fight. All you get Abomination punching him, and he uses what's it called? His like magic, right? To
Uh
like
huh.
shield him. But his punch was like too strong, so it sends Wong flying. And then it ends with this next part. Wong's all like, all right, do it again. And then he goes for another punch, and Wong opens a portal, and then Abomination basically punches himself, and then he knocks himself out, so it ends.
Ah,
So
damn
yeah,
it.
it
Okay.
wasn't too long of a fight, but it was hype. Um, so you get that, and then Shang-Chi it's like revealed that he's gonna fight next, right? He's like, oh, I didn't come here to fight. And he's like, yeah, you did. So then they go send him into the back, and he's getting ready to fight, right? And this is where something crazy, like this is crazy. You see Wong and Abomination back there, right? They're cooling off, and Wong's talking to Abomination, and he says like, "What did I tell you about those punches?" And then we're like, "Wait, what?" And then he's basically saying like, "We need to do more training." And then Wong opens up a portal, and both him and Abomination walk through it. So it's like Wong's training Abomination.
What?
Yeah, like this, it was
Huh.
crazy. And then Abomination was like in a fucking diaper or something. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't know if it was a diaper or like shorts, but
Oh,
um,
whoa.
I
Okay. I
was
got
just,
questions here
yeah,
now.
I was like, what? Like abominations with the sorcerers?
So that means no Hulk versus Abomination in the future. It's like a team up, probably.
Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
Because Wong's a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wong's a good guy, and he tells him like, "Oh, what did I tell you about like your punches and training?" It's like Steve says something about that, right? So they're training. It's revealed that they're training. He and Abomination leaves with him. So like we thought from the trailer, Wong and Abomination are just strangers fighting. No, they're on the same side. Like they're
Okay.
Abomination's getting trained on. And I told my brother after the movie, it would have been crazy if it was Abomination that opened up the portal that they go through.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. That'd be dope, huh?
that would have been that. Oh my god, that would have been crazy. But now it was still crazy because like what I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, is Abomination gonna be in Doctor Strange?
I don't know, man.
Like
Um,
this multiverse of madness movie is gonna be fucking bonkers.
so I gotta ask, how does Abomination look? Does he look the same like in
No,
the Incredible Hulk, or is he a little bit altered?
he looks more like his comic book counterpart. He has like the fin ears, you know. Um, he doesn't look. I don't know. He looks different, but you can still tell it's him.
Okay. Okay.
I'd say he looks better, honestly.
Okay. So Wong, does he look like the same when in Spider-Man No Way Home when he's leaving for that AKA vacation?
Yeah, so that's what I've heard is that when he leaves in that Spider-Man trailer, he's going to like this tournament place, right? But
Does
yeah,
he
he looks
look?
the same.
He looks.
He doesn't have his coat or anything. Like in No Way Home, he looks like he has a jacket and stuff,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, because it was snowy in that
yeah, but in
in the
Shang-Chi, nah,
second.
he's dressed in his regular how we see him in the Doctor Strange movie and Infinity War and Endgame. That's how he's dressed, like more of the sorcerer outfit. So, but like his face and everything looks the same. Like he's looked the same in all the movies. But yeah, dude, that shit was crazy.
Okay, so all right, that's the only questions I had. Keep on going,
Mhm.
man. What else we got next?
Right.
Who's Shang Chi fighting here?
So then Shang-Chi goes in there, right? And he doesn't know who he's fighting, but he's shirtless, and they make a little joke out of that, but my man's looking good. Like he worked for that body.
Continuing the tradition.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that to continue the tradition of like having their shirt off for a scene in the solo movies. Um, so then who's he fighting? Someone emerges from the shadows, and he squints, and he's like Zhao Ling, which is his sister, right?
Oh, nice.
So it's his sister that he's fighting, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fight you," and she's saying like, "You abandoned me." So it's revealed that when he left for that mission at the age of 14, he never came back. He abandoned, and she was saying like she waited for him for like 6 years. Actually, I think she tells him that later. So, anyways, they're fighting, and he's just like, "I'm not gonna fight you, right?" Um, she beats him. She like knocks him out. They're having this dialogue throughout the fight. I can't really remember what it was about. Um, the it's basically they're just going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And she ends up beating him, but he wasn't putting up a fight. He was just like blocking stuff. So she beats him, knocks him out, and then that's when he like wakes up, and they're in the backstage, right? So their fight it was pretty cool, but like I said, it's just her fighting him and him blocking until he gets knocked out.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was cool though. So then you get to the locker room, that's what it is, and they're talking, and she's now giving us like backstory of how he left at the age of 14, and she got over it after 6 years, because after 6 years she realized he's not coming back. I don't know how much younger she is, but a couple years younger, you know. So if he was 14, she was like 10, 11, or 12. She's only a few years younger than him. So yeah, she was basically just saying that she had to live without a mom and her brother, and it was just like her dad, right? But her dad didn't really care about her that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty sad, pretty tragic. And then we get to this next part of the movie after he says like, because she's like not interested in Shang-Chi, right? Like she's over him. So he's like, then why, like, if you're not interested in me, why would you send me the postcard to come here? And then she's like, I never sent you anything. So I was like, oh shit. So he
Okay.
sent the postcard. And then that's when the 10 rings come, and they're like trying to now get her necklace, right? Because she had the other necklace that the mom gave.
Okay.
So then there's this next action sequence that's them trying to escape from the 10 rings. And it takes place on the side of a building, which is, there's like scaffolding and stuff. So it's pretty crazy. It looks like Shang-Chi and Katie are about to lose, and then his sister comes back to, because like she dipped, but then she comes back to help them out. And they get her necklace though, and Shang-Chi is chasing the guy that got her necklace. And when he gets to like there's like this helicopter that comes to pick whoever stole the necklace, whoever that was. There's a helicopter, and he
Mm-hmm.
gets to that like room where he's about to jump to the helicopter, and then this other dude comes, and it's revealed that it's the dude that was like the main trainer of Shang-Chi. And and you just get this quick little scene of like a flashback in Shang-Chi's head with all the like savage things that he did to train him. And
Okay.
then they fight, and I don't know if you remember from the trailer, but it's like this guy with a weird mask. It's like a white mask and has like
Yeah.
makeup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was it.
that's who his trainer was, which we never see who was under the mask or anything.
Does he ever speak?
He never speaks. No.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be revealed to be like a woman or something, but no, they never tell you if it's a
Pulling
guy
a
or a
Black
girl.
Widow.
Yep. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't nothing. Like we never know anything about the character, and later on that character fucking dies. So like
I
you
was
literally
getting
have no idea what that character is.
when I saw that
Um,
character in the trailer, I was getting a lot of the Wolverine vibes.
mm-hmm.
Remember when he goes to Japan? I don't know.
Yep.
I was getting that night that little feel, at least in that aspect of the film. What you're telling me is there seems to be a lot of flashback.
There is a lot of
With
flashback, which
is
reminded me of anime stuff. Because every time there's an anime, when there's like this crazy ass fight, they flashback, right?
That's
So
true.
it
That's very
reminded me
true.
like an anime,
I
honestly.
I don't necessarily like a lot of flashbacks, especially in a Marvel film, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have to see for myself if I'm gonna actually like that aspect or not.
I don't really like flashbacks either, but I don't mind these because it's flashing back to something that we don't know. I don't like when it flashbacks to something we've already seen. So,
Okay, so
like,
it is a little fresh.
yeah, it was because every time it flashback, it was giving you more behind his backstory, and it would further the present story by now knowing the backstory. So, I think they did a great job with the flashbacks. But then again, I think Marvel does a great job at everything, right? So, um,
All right, let's keep moving on. So what happens
all
after
right.
this?
So then Shang-Chi, he basically gets the upper hand, and he's, I don't know if he's about to kill that trainer, but these guys, they're not heroes. Like, they're killing these 10 rings. They're knocking them off the building and stuff, especially his sister. Like, she's savage.
Oh,
She's
so
more savage
okay,
than him. She even says it like because a guy's falling and Shang-Chi tries to like save him, right? And then the sister just comes and kicks him off, and he's like, "What, did America make you soft? Like, this girl's a savage." But yeah,
damn.
before he can like land the final blow on that masked character, that's when the dad comes out, Wenwu, with the 10 rings, and he uses them to like, what's it called? Stop Shang-Chi. Like he uses them as handcuffs on him. It's pretty crazy. So that's where it stops. And then he's all like, "Oh, this is from the trailer." He's like, "I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill you even if they tried." So it was all um, Wenwu all along. Like he's the one that sent the postcard
Makes
so that
sense.
he can come over here, so then that he can have them at the same place. And then now they're in China. He's in China. So
Is Awkwafina
this,
in China as well?
yeah. So she came with Shang-Chi. She's there the whole time in the tournament. She's watching it and everything.
She's just kind of
When they're
taking a step
fighting,
back here.
yeah. When she's fighting, when they're fighting, she's like trying to. Her and Shang-Chi are trying to like run away,
Yeah,
and she's not doing much fighting. She's just trying to run away.
yeah,
Um, it,
reasonably so for her
yeah,
character.
she doesn't have this crazy ass moment where she takes on one of these dudes. Um, so
Okay,
she's a believable character. So yeah, they take Katie, Xiaoling, which is Shang-Chi's sister, and Shang-Chi. They take the three of them to the Ten Rings compound, like when we takes them. And now he has both of the necklaces. So we still don't know what he wants to do with them, but it is revealed like shortly after. So before we get to this next part of the compound, is there anything else you'd like to know?
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna say both the necklaces are actually rings.
No, they're not.
Oh fuck it, because it seems like in a trailer they both have like two separate rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has his own set, and then Shang-Chi has his. I think so. I can't remember too much.
Yeah,
Um,
it also it shows that in the trailer and the posters. But no,
yeah.
they're not. They don't have to do with the necklaces.
Okay, all right. So I have no questions. Go ahead and continue.
Right. So yeah, they get there and they're like having a like some funny family dinner. It's like this. It's an intense family dinner because it's tense, right? You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And Wen was telling them the backstory, and then this is where it's revealed how the mom died. So Wenwu, he put away the 10 rings, and then so he wasn't using them, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that everything he had done was forgotten. People remember
Yes.
what he did. So one day he went out to like get firewood. I don't know what he went to go do. He went away from their house to go get stuff, right? It
Oh
was like
god,
food or something.
this sound like Scorpion's backstory in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, for
Oh
real.
man, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's similar.
Okay.
So then it's just the mom and the two kids right there, right? They're
Yeah.
like talking or having dinner. I don't know what they're doing. But then out comes this guy and like four other dudes, and they're like, "Oh, where's Wen?" We're like, they're basically here to kill him, right?
Yeah.
And the mom's like, "Oh no, he's not here." Um, and then they're like, "Oh well, someone's gonna pay this debt or whatever." So she says, like the kids have nothing to do with this, so to let the kids go away, and they do. So then she gets in like a fighting pose, right? And Shang-Chi's like, "Mom, you don't have your powers anymore." And I forgot what she says, but like she's gonna take them on, right?
Yeah.
And you feel like she might have a chance, and then like 20 other dudes come out, and she's like surrounded. And you're
Game
like,
over.
"Fuck!" And you don't see the action, you don't see her get beat down. You just see Shang-Chi's reaction, the little kid, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a Marvel
It
movie.
just, yeah.
Can't see
So
that.
he's
Yeah.
watching this happen to his mom, and you just see his reaction, and you can kind of hear like the beating that's happening, but it's like you don't hear these crazy yells or anything. But yeah, it's like tragic. And then Shang Wenwu comes back, and he just sees like his two kids with his now murdered wife, and like it's a sad.
Mm-hmm.
His past came to bite him in the ass. So then, because of that, from that moment, he put on the 10 rings, and now he's never taken them off again.
Yeah.
Because he said they would have
That's
never dared.
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says they would have never dared do this if I still had the 10 rings. So then he gets Shang-Chi, and he's like, "You're gonna show me who did this." They go into like town, and he finds the guys that did it, and Shang-Chi's like, "Yeah, that's them." Fucking murders the fuck out of them, dude. It was a dope action scene.
I was gonna say, how great is that action scene?
Yeah, the action scenes, it's cool, and then like also the way they film it, like it doesn't always show you. It's not always the camera looking at them. Sometimes it's like it's looking at the reflection through like a wall. But it was
Okay.
like the 10 rings, like dude, he's savage with them.
So they pulled a kind of like the recent Suicide Squad. One of the shots I really love is the Peacemaker helmet is on the ground, and James Gunn shoots the helmet because the helmet's fully silver, and you can
Yep,
see Rick Flag and Peacemaker fighting. So it's
it was
similar to kind of like that.
It was similar to that because like the wall was silver, so it was like a good reflection, and you see the action through the reflection, and they do it like that so that you can see the action in the reflection as well as Shang-Chi because he's in front of that, so you see his reaction too. So it's like you're seeing his reaction and then the action behind him through the reflection. So it's dope.
Very
Um,
cool.
so yeah, so we get that backstory, right?
I think
And we
the
know how
only
his mom
thing that I'm a
dies.
little disappointed is that they didn't do the Scorpion route where like it's not a main guy who killed his wife.
Hmm.
Like either in the comics or like a
Hmm.
rival clan, whatever.
Hmm.
That would have been really cool. I mean, if you're gonna steal from the best, right?
And I thought that was gonna happen too because in another flashback, like it's revealed that when Shang-Chi goes on that mission, he couldn't go through with it. He found the guy that killed his mom, and we don't see this. It's just him like saying it. Like he found the guy, and he said that he couldn't go through with it, right?
Yeah.
But we never find out who that guy is. So yeah, he
Oh,
couldn't
so
go
the
through
guy's
with
still
it.
alive,
So the guy's still alive supposedly,
but
but we'll
the
get
but
to it.
the but the other clan members who the other people who jumped her is pretty much dead.
Everyone's dead except for like the main guy, right?
Yeah.
The one that called the hit. He's still
Okay.
alive supposedly. And then Shang-Chi says because he didn't do that task, he knew he can never go back home. So that's why he stayed in California or San Francisco.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Uh,
so now we get back to the present. Like the dinner's over or whatever. They're just chilling in their rooms. Like they're not really prisoners because it's like their home, right? But
yeah.
also they're not gonna let them leave. So a lot of people have said that Wen was never really portrayed as a villain, and I agree. Not really. He's not a
I
good guy, but he's not a villain.
I heard that Wenwu is one of the best villains Marvel has done.
He's a good character. He's one of the best antagonists, but I still wouldn't call him a villain. But
Okay.
for sure, antagonist.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's good. But I mean, we'll get
You
to
just
it
don't
then.
you just don't view him as a villain. Okay.
I don't
All
view
right.
him
Yeah.
as a villain now. So
Okay.
then, yeah, so it's just Katie and like Shang-Chi, they're talking and Zhao Ling or whatever. And then they hear these weird ass noises, right? And they're like, oh shit, is someone getting tortured or what? And they go to investigate. And then like these noises are just crazy, right? And then they open the door to where the noises are coming from and they see some guy and you just see the back of him and it's like, what the hell's happening to this guy? What is he doing? And then he turns around and it's fucking Trevor Slattery or Trevor, the fake
Oh,
Mandarin.
yeah, yeah, the fake
Yeah,
Mandarin. Yes, I heard.
the
I
fake
actually they
Mandarin.
put that out there that he's gonna be in this movie.
Yep.
So they have fucking Trevor in here. Ben
Yes.
Kingsley, I believe. Ben Kingsley
Ben
is the
Kingsley, yeah.
actor. Yes,
And I think the character's name is like Trevor Slattery, I
it's
believe.
Trevor. Yeah, it's
Yep,
Trevor.
it's
Yeah.
Trevor. And
Okay, so this is where Trevor comes in. Okay.
And he comes in, and it's not just this one scene. Once he's introduced, he's in the movie till the end. So he
Well,
becomes a supporting character.
well, I have to say though, real quick, because I don't
Hmm.
think you saw. I don't think you saw it. You didn't see All Hail the King.
I saw it when he's
Oh,
in prison, and then
okay,
they
you
go to
did see
like
it. I
execute him.
might have
Yep.
been Chase that didn't see it. So yes, people, if you didn't see All Hail the King, it's a Marvel short that they did a couple times.
Mhm.
They even have an Agent Carter one. That's how the show got made. So Trevor is actually in prison, and there's actually a cool Easter egg with the Punisher in there as well. But Trevor gets taken, and the people who take him says the real Mandarin wants to see your ass.
Hmm.
So all connects. Go ahead, Albert. What happens after this?
And it's canon in this movie. They don't erase that. Trevor tells them what happened, and he's retelling what happened in that All Hail the King short.
Cool.
He was in prison. They came. They brought him to Wenwu. They were gonna execute him. Like all that was true. They don't retcon anything. So that was cool to see for those that had seen the All Hail the King. But then he says before they could execute him, he did like his impression of Wenwu, right? And they all thought it was comedic, so they kept him as around as basically the jester. He's just comedy, right? Um,
Wow.
so yeah, he like they were gonna kill him, but then they saw that he was the funny guy, so they're like, nah, let's not kill him.
Wow.
So that's it. And then out comes this little creature, and they're like, what the fuck is that? It's like a little. Care Bear looking thing doesn't have a face and has wings. And you get like one of the best jokes there where fucking Trevor's all like, "Oh, you guys see him too?" So they thought he was just seeing shit, right? But no, this thing's real. And he can like talk to this thing. The thing talks. We don't understand it. We only understand it when Trevor translates it. So like,
that's just funny.
yeah, it's freaking hilarious. So that thing's saying that he comes from that place where Shang-Chi's mom is from, right?
Yes.
And that he wants to get back there. And oh yeah, so it was revealed in the dinner that oh, I missed something huge.
Go ahead and tell us
Okay,
the huge
so
part.
at the dinner, Wenwu tells him his plan, right? What he wants to go to, I forget what that realm is called, but he wants to go there
Yeah.
because his wife is there, Shang-Chi's mom is there. That
Um,
he heard her like while he was, I don't know, that he just heard her say that he's there, right? That she spoke to him and
I'm
that they have her in
assuming
prison.
I'm assuming it's kind of like her spirit or astral body, kind of like Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the money on that one.
No.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
That's what I was thinking too. It was like her astral projection or something.
Yeah.
Um, she's dead. Like she is not in there.
She ain't
But
coming back. Yeah.
yeah, she's not coming back. Like he's hearing these things and like it's kind of all right. So this one is kind of bullshit. Like who
Be
is
honest
talking to
with
him,
you.
right?
You be honest. You do your
I'll,
thing.
I'll be honest with you, but like whoever's talking to him, these characters, they're not revealed yet. Um, they're not revealed until Shang-Chi gets goes to that place where his mom's from. That's where they tell him what's like they're hiding there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I'll save it for later, but his mom's really dead.
Okay.
He's just hearing these random voices that we don't know for sure yet. So at this part of the movie, we don't know if she is dead or not. But yeah, that's what he wants. And the two necklaces, they're like dragon's eyes, fake dragon's eyes. But if you put them on this dragon statue that they have, it does this map. That's where in the trailer you see the water falling or whatever.
Uh huh.
That's the map. So the water goes in the ground and it shows them the map through this forest. That like it's a living forest, like the route changes and everything. So now Wenwu knows how to get there and when to get there because you need to know how and when to take the path. So yeah, that's the big thing I had missed was Wenwu's like plan. He wants to get his wife back. He thinks they have her in prison.
Okay.
Because even earlier in the movie, they wanted to go there, but they said, "No, we don't want Wenwu here because of all his past, right?"
Yeah.
So now he just thinks they have her there and like as a prisoner, but that's
Well,
not the case.
well, in the trailer, I did see a lot of mystical creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you see the
Mm-hmm.
dragon. You see the Funko
Mm-hmm.
Pops that are out there with different mystical. It's kind of like an Avatar spirit realm to
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
that's
it does
that's
get
all.
into that realm. I mean, it gets into that kind of mystical element in the film, which I'm kind of a little surprised by.
Yep. It gets there because then so now back to Trevor and Shang-Chi and
Yeah.
Katie and Xiaoling. Um, so they're talking and Xiaoling's she comes in through like a tunnel and she's like, "Oh, I used tunnels to escape the first time. We can use them to escape now." And they go to like the garage. They get a car and then they dip out of there, right?
Yeah.
And then the little pet or whatever, what was it called? I forgot what it was called. Um, but that little like Furby looking thing, the
Okay.
mystical creature that can talk to Trevor, he's saying he knows the path and he knows when to get there. So they're like, all right, let's get the car and let's go to the forest. So they escape the compound. Like the goons are chasing them, but they escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to the forest, and now they're just waiting there because, like I said, they need to go through the path at a certain time. So they're just talking, and then they're waiting, and then the path opens, and the little creature's like guiding them along. And it's pretty cool because the creature's talking to Trevor, and then Trevor is translating it to Katie, who's driving, and then like it's pretty intense because from her perspective, she's like blind, right? She's just driving and turning left or right. She's like driving blind.
Okay.
But they get to that spot where then it's like a waterfall or something. I forgot exactly what it was, but they drive the car through there, and then it's like a portal that goes to the other realm.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not like any other portal we've seen in the MCU. It's not like a Doctor Strange portal or like a jump gate from Guardians of the Galaxy or even
Mm.
anything from like multiverse looking
Thor.
thing.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
like
or
the
the Thor.
Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's none of that. All it is it's like a water portal. It's like the Doctor Strange. It's like a circle, but instead of like sparks, it's water.
Water.
And
Okay.
the car and them in it, they go through the portal, and now they're in this other land, right? And then that's when you see all the mystical creatures. You see like birds that are on fire. Um,
Oh,
the
phoenixes.
little
Phoenixes, kind of.
phoenixes, yeah.
Yeah.
You see the little creature and like all his people, and then you see like these crazy looking lions, like in the Asian art style. Like you see those.
Mm.
So that's where you see all the creatures, right? And they drive up and they see like this little community of people, and it's not like high tech or anything. They're like intense and shit. And they come out, and then that's when everyone's clapping because I don't know if they thought it was a mom or just the actress is popular. But this woman comes out, everyone claps. I don't know why we're clapping. I clap too. But it's Shang-Chi's the mom's sister, so it's Shang-Chi's aunt.
Okay.
And
Okay.
at
So it
first,
must have been a famous actress. I haven't
yeah,
looked
I
up the
think
names,
I
but
think
yeah.
it was a famous actor. But also, I was like, did they think it was a mom? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
Just
at
go with it.
first, before she came out, it was some other guy. He's like, no, you guys got to go back. But then she comes out and she's like, no, they're welcome here. They're my sister's kids.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so they're there, and now she's telling them like, oh yeah, your mom's dead. I'm,
Just straight out.
yeah, she they no, he's like, no, actually, it was crazy because as she's talking to him, she's like, come on, let's go see your mom. And I was like, wait, the mom's still alive? But then they go to this little like you know how in Coco they have that thing at the end with all the dead people, like a little
Oh, you're talking about the shrine?
the shrine, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have a tent that's a shrine for all their dead, and that's what she
Yeah.
meant by let's go see your mom. It's just like a picture of her. I was
Well,
like,
the
okay.
Mexican culture and the Asian culture, those are the two similarities there. You know, they respect and they bring offerings to their dead. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say all cultures have at least something similar, or they do something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So so yeah, so that's what she meant by let's go see your mom. And then after that they go to there's this wall that's carved out, and in the carving it's like the story of this creature that I forgot what they called, but it's like this dark being, right? And at
Hmm.
first I thought it was like it kind of reminded me of like their mama. Um, it's this dark creature that looks like Cthulhu. It's like the octopus looking dude,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they were going from like realm to realm, taking them over, right? And they got to this realm where they're at, and after that they were going to go to the portal to Earth, but like they all got together and stopped them, and they sealed them behind this prison made of dragon scales. I was about to say dragon glass, dragon scales. So now it's like a new material in the Marvel universe, right? Dragon scales. I don't know how
Okay.
tough they are against vibranium, but they're fucking tough. They get powers, and that's what all their suits and weapons are made out of is dragon scales. I guess they have powers from the dragon, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, so there's these dark beings, these creatures that are sealed behind that, and then she tells them that's what's speaking to your dad because they've always spoke to people and they come here to try to free them because they're telling them what they most desire is behind that wall, but no, there's nothing behind there. It's just a dark being. So it's revealed that they are communicating to Wenwu, but making it sound like if it's his wife that's behind there.
Mm.
So
Oh,
that's the only thing where I was like, I don't really like that, because
yeah.
like I don't know, just I didn't like it, but it didn't ruin the movie or anything for me. It was just like really they had to go with that.
That's what they did.
That's what they
Okay.
did. So then it's the final act of the movie. Wenwu knows how to get there too, so he gets through there. Um, so
With
now
this
they're hearing.
ten ring people.
Yep. Oh, I guess before that, they're just training, you know. Oh yeah. All right. They are training. That's something big about the movie. The
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, Xiaoling, and they're even training Katie, right? Because like they're right here, like
Yeah.
everyone's important.
Yeah, your
So
ass is gonna
training.
get
Mhm.
get squashed if you don't at least train a little bit.
And then with Trevor, so a little callback to like Iron Man 3, right? They're playing, but like they have little kids there too, right? It's not just like adults. They have little kids. So the little kid are playing soccer, and Trevor, they're using him as the referee, right? And that's like a callback because in Iron Man 3, remember he's watching soccer or whatever.
Oh yeah,
So to me, that was a nice little joke. So yeah,
it would
so
have been
Trevor, they're
funny.
just using him. Huh?
Oh no, never mind. Because they already they treat him as a jester. Never mind. But I
Yeah,
find
yeah,
the Trevor stuff pretty funny.
yeah.
Um,
He's the like the best. A lot of the best comedy comes from him.
okay, so we get into our final act. You got Shang Chi's dad coming in. So but they're training. So this is
Yeah.
the
No,
final.
no. Before he comes in, they're training. It's
Yeah,
just I had
before
to
they
give.
come in, they're
Yeah.
training.
Uh-huh.
So the final showdown, man. So what happens?
Well, real quick before that, in the training, Shang-Chi's aunt is showing him that elegant fighting style, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's telling him, your dad just taught you how to fight like with brute force, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you how we fight here. So now he learns that fighting style, and then they give them the weapons and the suits, and then so that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you before we got to the final battle. Is that
Okay.
now he knows the fighting style of his dad and his mom, basically. So
He
now
has
he
two
is.
different styles going into this big battle, which is
Mhm.
good to have.
So two styles, but he combines them to be his own.
Yeah.
So now the final battle, right? So when his forces come, and then you have the Ten Rings, like that, they come in versus Shang-Chi and these guys. And Wen was like, I need to get to that gate. And they're like, no, we're not letting you get there. It's not what you think. So then the final battle happens. They're fighting. And it's a nice little war, you know. Um, they're fighting each other, and it's pretty even because Wenwu is his people have more better technology, whereas these
Mm-hmm.
people have like the dragon scales. So it's even.
Would you
Um,
say One Wounds groups is kind of like the Wakanda of technology?
I'd say not as advanced, but
They're
but in this fight, yeah,
yeah,
because
suitable for more
they
combat.
have weapons that are just more technological, you know.
Okay. All right.
Um, but it's not like anything too crazy. A lot of times I don't feel like people are dying. It's just like they're getting knocked out. But they're fighting, and then Wenwu fights a little bit there, and he's mostly fighting Shang-Chi, right? Shang-Chi
Yeah.
gets his ass handed to him. Wenwu just freaking punches him into the lake, like straight into the lake. Like it wasn't much of a fight. Wenwu just demolished him, and then he jumps over to the gate, and he's trying to break it open while everyone else is still fighting, and Shang-Chi is just in the fucking lake, right? Um,
Oh, he's in the lake, so I'm
in the
assuming
lake
the
pond.
dragon appears.
Yeah, so then this is when the dragon appears. And I thought the dragon was gonna give him like some power, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happens. So then it cuts back to Wenwu, and he's hitting this shit as hard as he can with those 10 rings, right? He's not doing much. So then he puts all 10 rings on one of his arms, and he then just is punching with that one arm, with and he finally starts to crack it open, and then the little creatures are coming out, not the big one, because there's a big one and all the little ones, right? The little creatures are coming out, and they're flying over to where his forces are fighting against the other people. And then I think it was the ant that tells like Razor Fist, like, oh, you got to tell your men, like, we got to stop fighting each other, we got to fight those things. And he's like, no, I'm not going to take orders from you. And then the those creatures, they steal your soul basically, right?
Ooh.
Um, it's kind of like Starro, because you know how Starro his stars are
They attach to your
extensions of
face.
itself.
Yes.
So this thing, what I get is that all the little creatures are extensions of the big one. So when they suck your soul out of you, it makes the bigger one stronger, just like Starro, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like they're completely different, but that's like the only similarities between them. So yeah, the Razor Fist is like, no, I'm not gonna take orders from you. And then that masked character, with the White Mask character,
Mm-hmm.
he's the first to die. One of those things just gets he gets
What?
yeah, he lifts him up and he sucks the soul out of him, and then that's when Razor Fist is all like, oh yeah, he tells all his men like, oh shit, fight those things. So now they team up to fight those
Wait, the
things.
mascot? You mean the trainer?
The trainer, yeah,
He freaking bites it just like that.
first to die. Yep,
What? That
yep.
is so
That's what I'm
weak.
saying. We never find out who he is or anything,
Why
man.
do you even have like a cool looking character like that in the
Uh
damn
huh.
movie?
Uh huh.
So
Yep.
he was Boba Fett.
Basically, yeah. Like Razor Fist is more
Wow.
important than that, dude.
I'm so disappointed in that. But
Hmm.
when they do suck him, his soul, is it a pretty
Hmm.
cool effect? Does it kind of have that Shang Tsung kind of look to it?
It's like it's not like their soul doesn't look like them. It's like a circle looking thing, but it does look cool when it consumes the soul. And then yeah, it's like they're just totally lifeless after that. You know, they're dead.
Okay, that's disappointing. Keep going, man.
Yeah, so it's disappointing that that character died, but then
Yeah.
seeing him die, now they're like working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're fighting these things, but Wenwu, he's relentless. He's punching the fuck out of these things, and more and more of them are coming out. And then like there's a big ass wave of them coming, and then that's when out of the lake comes out the dragon, and he just like eats all of these fuckers. Because in the backstory, the dragon is what like trapped all of them, right? So now he comes back out, and then you see Shang-Chi riding the dragon. He's like guiding it, right? Or I
Oh
don't know if
man,
he's
this
guiding
is really a Dragon Ball
it.
homage
Yeah,
for sure. Cause I mean,
yeah.
I saw his jacket in the trailers. I'm like, that's Goku because he has the
Uh-huh.
orange and blue colors. So definitely a homage to that. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's riding a dragon. That's
Yep.
Goku, bro.
Yep. He's right on
Okay.
the head.
Or you
And
could
I don't
even say
know.
Avatar too, like Zuko and the
Mm-hmm.
Fire Lords and stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, man. I just gotta
So
bring that up.
it
Continue.
looks dope. And yeah, so then the big ones eating all the little ones, right? And like the tides turn. Um, but then with Wenwu is he's still hitting the fucking cage, right? That's when Shang-Chi leaves the big dragon and he goes to fight Wenwu again, right? The rematch.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's more of an even fight. Um, I don't know why. It just
But
is.
I was
It's
about
more
to
of
say,
an
but how? Like he
yeah.
didn't. He's still the same person that got his ass kicked to the lake.
Yeah, he's still the same. He didn't get a power up or anything.
Okay.
It's just I guess he learned from his mistakes. I might be forgetting, but he for sure didn't get a power up in the lake. I
Okay.
don't know exactly what was different. I don't know if it showed like a flashback and he remembered something, but yeah, he
The
didn't get a
dragon didn't
power up.
tell him anything or anything like that.
The dragon, no, the dragon never speaks.
He just looks at him and says, "Let's go."
Yeah, he looks at him, and then it cuts to like all the other action, and then like a minute later they come out. Um, but yeah,
Huh.
dragon never speaks. So he didn't get a power up or
Okay.
anything. But then he's fighting Wenwu, and there's this part where like Wenwu's throwing him. This is where he starts fighting like his mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was the first time. He just wasn't fighting with that with the dancing style, but now he is. And I was hoping that we'd see like a reaction from Wenwu, like this he would like be like, oh shit, he'd be reminded of his wife and how he fought. But I don't think they did show that. And if they did, it was just very subtle. But they didn't make anything out of it. But yeah, they're fighting, and then Wen was like, now he's not trying to kill his son, but he's trying to like knock him out, you know.
Yeah.
And but he's also like they're talking and he's saying some shit. He's like the person I love died, and you were there and you couldn't do anything. Like you just
Ooh.
watched. So he's saying some stuff. He's saying like it was your fault, you know. Um, so they're fighting, and then he throws like 5 rings at him, and Shang-Chi does like this little thing that his mom kind of did, and now the rings are around him. They change
Oh.
colors, so now instead of being blue, they're orange. Which the mom, she did something similar when she was fighting him in the beginning, but like I don't remember the rings changing color. She just like she did this reversal with the rings, and now they're around her, and then she just threw them all back at him, and it like blew him away. But now with Shang-Chi, he does the same little movement, and the rings are around him, but now he's using them as weapons.
Yeah, he's able to control them.
Yeah, he doesn't just throw them back; he's using them, and then they're fighting, and now it's even because it's 5 rings versus 5 rings until like fucking Wenwu, he does some other move, and then he loses the other 5 rings, and now Shang-Chi has a 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's, oh dude, you're gonna love this. He gets the 10 rings in the circle, and he's charging it up like a Kamehameha.
That's awesome.
He's charging it up, and they're rotating so fast that they're making a little energy ball. And Wenwu looks scared like he's shitless, right? He's scared. Because we hadn't seen like Wenwu do this type of move.
Yeah, this is
so Shang-Chi's making this Kamehameha, and then he just throws it into the ground, and like he's like, no, like those I saw what those things did to you. I don't want them. And now, because as they were fighting, they were hitting the cage or whatever, the gate, accidentally, right? So now the big creature comes out. He comes out, and then Wenwu was all like, oh yeah, my wife's not behind there. I fucked up. In his face, he doesn't say anything. They're just like both looking, and this creature's huge, and the creature starts fighting them, and he goes for Shang-Chi.
I gotta say, Albert, another goddamn CGI big monster fight.
Yep.
Little disappointed on that one, but go ahead, man. Keep going.
It is because
we just saw that in Starro in Suicide Squad.
To me, that's the true villain of the movie, right? And
yeah,
I didn't care for that villain. I don't remember its name or whatever. It's just a faceless. It had a face, but it's just like, no, it's pretty much a faceless creature,
Okay.
The better antagonist was the father, but I say antagonist, not villain. But yeah, so the creature goes for Shang-Chi, and then Wenwu gets the 10 rings real quick, and he like pushes Shang-Chi away, and by pushing him away, the creature gets Wenwu, and it takes his soul out, and Wenwu dies.
God damn it.
Yep. So I was like, fuck, dude.
Really?
I was like, damn, I didn't want him to die because
he sounded like the most interesting character in the movie.
He was,
and that's the problem with Marvel, man.
They
killed the most interesting. Yes, like how they just I don't know what's up with them. They just think that, oh, we gotta kill him off. You don't have to kill him off. If it's a character we're rocking with, and it's an interesting character, like I haven't even seen the movie, and he's already interesting to me.
Yeah. No, he's definitely the most. He was the most interesting. And
but Disney has to kill off the parents, right?
Yep.
All right, keep going, man.
But
that's so disappointing.
Although it was disappointing. But in his final moments of life, he gives the 10 rings to Shang-Chi, right? Like he just it looked pretty dope. Like it was kind of beautiful. Like,
why didn't he use it himself?
He did, but he got caught. I don't know. Like he just got caught. Like that thing was huge. It just wrapped around him, and he couldn't do shit anymore.
But Shang-Chi can.
It's because you can't just control him with your mind. You have to do arm movements, and now he was bound. So all he did was release them, and they went to Shang-Chi. So he couldn't really do anything once he got caught by that thing. Like his last thing that he did with the rings was push Shang-Chi away, and he tried to fight it, but he just got caught,
Okay.
But yeah, so he gives the rings to Shang-Chi, and then he gets his soul sucked out of him, and he dies. And then they're like, fuck. So now Shang-Chi's trying to fight this thing, and then the big dragon comes out, because the thing, once he kills Wenwu, he sees the big dragon, and now he's like, oh, he remembers that big dragon's what put him behind bars, so now it's big ass dragon versus big ass creature, and they're fighting, and Shang-Chi's fighting too, right? And before this happens, also with the dragon, now the sister Xiaoling is on the dragon. So I forgot exactly how she got on it, but there's a part where she gets on the dragon. So they're fighting. There's actually this really cool thing where I thought the dragon was gonna give her a power, because the dragon notices how badass she is fighting everyone. She's the most she was my favorite character in the movie. She's the most badass.
Of course, Marvel's gonna make do that
Yeah.
thing again. But if it's balanced, I'm
But
fine with it.
it
If
was
Shang,
bad. No, I feel like the focus was more on Shang-Chi, but
okay,
just to me, she was more
yeah,
badass.
which
I
I'm
want to,
totally
yeah.
fine with. I just don't like when they try to overshadow the main character in the movie.
No,
That
they,
happened to
I,
Black Widow,
hmm hmm
and I didn't want that to happen in this movie.
No, it doesn't happen in this movie. It's just for me, I want to see more of her, you know?
Okay, okay,
Um, because they don't overshadow her. We don't see too much or know too much about her. We just know her backstory in relation to Shang-Chi. Um, and like when she left and she started up that underground fighting thing, like we just know that she did it. We don't know how. But yeah, so now she's riding the dragon, and it's her and the dragon and Shang-Chi all fighting the creature, right?
mm-hmm.
So then that big ass creature, because it's getting all the souls of the people over there, like it's getting stronger. So now it has the dragon and it's starting to suck the dragon soul out. And um it also has Shang-Chi's sister, and Shang-Chi has like he's holding on to the sister. So they're all just like intertwined. They can't really do much. Um and this was the only part I wish this was different in the movie, because an arrow goes through the creature's neck, and that stops it from sucking the soul out of the dragon. And then it's revealed that it was Katie that launched that arrow. Um, so
Legolas.
yeah, and I was like, dude, she's had maybe like 2 days of training. She was that accurate from that far, and so yeah, she had this big ass moment. Basically, she saved the day, right? Because
Yeah.
she saved the dragon and Shang-Chi and the sister,
Okay.
basically. Um, what I would have wished was for it to be the ant that saved them. I think that would have been better.
Yeah, I think that would have made more sense, right?
But like they're training Katie to be an archer, but
Takes only like one day.
I don't know. It was cool. It just kind of took me out, and I was like, I don't
Okay.
know. But yeah, I would
Okay.
have liked to do that. So then the thing goes through his throat, and now the dragon and Shang-Chi, and then they defeat it. So there, that thing's gone. They kill it.
Okay.
And then that's the end of the little conflict.
Sounds like a messy third act. It sounds like everything's
Um,
good until that big ass creature kind of hits.
to me, yeah, it's just the dad dying was kind of a like letdown, and then
CGI fest.
CGI fest. Katie having that final moment, which I feel like it should have been that aunt, because then it would have been more with the family.
Yeah. And it
But
sounded like a family type movie.
yeah, so that's why too, it was a family type movie, and it would have been seen like she couldn't save her sister, but she saved her sister's kids. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what I would have wished, but oh well. Katie like is Miss Hawkeye now, I guess, or lucky. She's lucky
New
as fuck,
Kate Bishop. Kate
right?
Bishop?
Dude, and
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Katie Bishop, what?
Okay, so the monster gets defeated, so we're at the end. So what happens at the end?
Dude, and me and my cousin talked about this.
No post. We're not talking post credit. We're
No,
talking
no,
the
no,
end of the
not yet, not
movie.
yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, me and my cousin talked about this, and we're like, after the main thing dies, like the movie wraps up super quick. So
really.
they go to the shore next to the lake where everyone was at, and like I don't know what they say. They're like, oh, that should like we saved the day or whatever, right? Um, and then it jumps to like the end of the day, and it was like these little lights that they're like, the lanterns when they let them go in the
Yep.
air. It was like
Hmm.
that, but in the lake, and it was for like all the dead people that died in that battle.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi says like, "Oh, for my dad Wenwu," and then the sister's like, "For my mom." So it was all the people that died in that battle plus like other dead people. So
Right.
yeah, you get that moment, and now after that, like after you see the little lights go into the lake, the dragon's right there in the lake again, and he just does like this little swirl. So now all the lights are swirling, and it looks cool. And then after that, it just jumps to like present day, and it's revealed that like Shang-Chi and Katie are telling the story to their two friends, right? In San Francisco. Like it just jumps to that. And earlier in the movie, they were like with those two same friends at a bar, right? And now they're at
Uh huh.
the same bar, like at like a pub. They're at the table. So yeah, and the friends are like, wait, 2 weeks ago you guys were just doing ballet, and now all of a sudden you're saving the world? What? Like they don't believe it, right? And then like they don't believe them. Shang-Chi doesn't have the 10 rings on or anything, and they're just talking, and then you hear a little sound effect, and you're like, that sounds familiar. It's Wong coming out of the portal, and he's like, is there a Shang-Chi here? And Shang-Chi's like that's me. He's like, you're the one with the 10 rings, and he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, then you have to come with me. But both him and Kate, like he asked for him and Katie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go through the portal and they wave bye at their friends, and the movie ends.
Huh.
So the movie ends with
With
Shang-Chi and Katie
Wong.
going through the portal with Wong,
I wonder where they're going. I don't think
which
they're gonna
now,
be.
then again, Doctor Strange is gonna be insane.
Yeah, I can only think Doctor Strange. I don't think they're gonna be in No Way Home. So before we get to the post-credit scenes, thank you, Albert, for explaining this whole movie. Great explanation too. Great
Wait,
storytelling.
there was one thing I forgot to mention though. It's
Except
not
when you,
huge.
except when you forget.
Yeah,
Damn it! Go for
I
it.
know. It was just something small. Later on in the movie, Shang-Chi's telling Katie like, "Oh, I didn't tell you the truth earlier. When I was younger, I actually did kill the guy that killed my mom, and that he felt so guilty for like killing him that he still didn't go back. But yeah, so the guy that killed his mom is dead.
Okay.
But it was just some random
I
Asian
don't
dude,
like
you know?
that. I think they
Yeah.
should have really had somebody important kill the mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's so, or at least set it up for maybe future installments too. You have
Yep.
another villain, you know.
Yep.
Okay, so before we get to the post credit scenes, are there one or two?
Two.
Two post credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to that, I want you to give me your overall rating from 1 to 10, and is this better than Black Widow?
All right. Before I give you the rating, I'll tell you if it's better than Black Widow.
Okay.
I liked it more than Black Widow. I had more emotional connection to Black Widow as a character, just
Mm-hmm.
because it was the first time seeing Shang-Chi. But the movie was better than Black Widow. The
Okay.
story and the action was better than Black Widow. And Black Widow was the first movie where we ever saw someone with like their sister, you know, with like all these characters, they don't have brothers or sisters. Black Widow did, but then like it was not her biological sister. This was like the first movie I think where it's the hero and there's like brother and sister, and
Siblings.
then also like their parents. I can't think of any other. Well, I mean, there's Ego and
Thor.
yeah, but like this one has
Loki.
more to do with like where the villain is their parent. Like yeah, Ego, but I don't know. I guess not then. There's been movies, but this one was like the brother and sister connection
It
was
was
something.
more. It was more in. I guess I don't know. I guess it was more well done, probably.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I liked them more than Black Widow. And you know I like Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Um. This movie out of 10, I want to see it again, but I feel like it wasn't a 10. I'd give it. I'd give it a 9, honestly, because of how crazy it was and the story was good.
Okay, that's good. That's a good solid
A
rating
low
right there.
9 or a high 8.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm still looking forward to watching it, especially getting
Mm-hmm.
spoiled everything. Just seeing it, and then of course the Kamehameha part for sure. Okay, let's get into the.
Here, I'll say this: the movie is an 8 with the 2 after credit scenes. It's a 9
Well,
because I'll
let's get
tell you,
into it.
the
Let's
first
get.
after credit scene, it didn't feel like an after credit scene. It felt more like the true ending of this movie because
What's the first after credit scene?
the first after credit scene, it's the scene that takes place like right after they go through the portal. It's Wang, Shang-Chi, and Katie, right?
Uh huh.
The sister's not there. The sister, we guess, is still in China, but it's them three, and they have the 10 rings there. And Wang's like, these 10 rings are not from this universe. They're not. There's no material on this universe that's like from these 10 rings. So I'm thinking multiverse. You know, they're from some other
So
fucking
there's a
universe or
reason why they
something.
didn't say anything about the 10 rings in this movie.
Yep, there's a reason because they're gonna have something to play. And then it's like, look, if we zoom in, and like he's zooming in with magic, right? He's like, if we zoom in, it's a beacon And then they're all like, he's like, a beacon. He's like, what do you guys think it's a beacon for? And we think he's talking to like, what's his name? Shang-Chi and Katie. But it pans to the right and he's talking to Captain Marvel and Hulk.
Captain Marvel and Hulk
Yep. It's
together.
they're not there in person. It's that blue like projection that we saw like in Endgame.
Yes, I know.
So
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
they're okay. But they're
they're not
so
together. They're separate. They're
separate.
like, yeah, but they're both talking
Are you
to
talking about
one.
so Professor Hulk,
Nope. Banner.
Bruce Banner?
Human.
So he went back to human.
He went back to human,
Oh,
and he still has his brace, but it looks healed.
okay. Do they say anything, or that's it?
So yeah, they're just discussing the 10 rings, and Bruce is all like, "I've never seen like anything like this," you know. He's like, "What about you?" And like Carol, you know, she's been to all these planets, and she's like, "No, I don't have any idea what this could be." Um, so then she gets like an urgent message, which by the way, she has longer hair now. She gets an urgent message. So this is about a year or so after Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has longer hair. She gets an urgent message, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta go." So I don't know if that's Captain Marvel 2 or what,
Mm-hmm.
but she's like, I'll always be like on this channel if you need me, but I gotta go. So she goes, and now it's Banner talking to Wong, and dude, I honestly it was just so crazy. I forgot exactly what they're talking about, but it's just with the 10 rings, you know, and how things are crazy. And he's like, but he says the same thing before he leaves, like just let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and now it's just Wong and them. And I liked this like dialogue because he's telling them like, "Oh, your guys' lives from this moment on, like it's gonna be completely different." Like he's basically telling them, "Welcome to the team," right? Like,
Yeah.
and I liked it because it's Wong telling them that, but it's also the actor telling them that because now they're famous as fuck, you know.
Well, we'll see how
So
this movie does in the box office
we'll
because
see, but
it's
I'm
not
sure it'll
playing
be
in
well.
China.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Black Widow didn't fare as good budget wise.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. I always want they're gonna probably bring this in, but vibranium, not vibranium, how do you say it?
Adamantium.
I want to see that in the MCU.
That's what I was
Wolverine
thinking too.
has
Maybe
it.
these things are adamantium.
That's the first thing that came in my head when he said about
Mm-hmm.
like this material 10 rings.
Yep.
That'd be pretty dope. And the only one who's like can go against that is like Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
That'd
dope.
be. That's what I was thinking too.
Well,
And then the beacon, like, what's the beacon? Who is it calling? Who is it warning? That's the big thing behind the 10 rings. It's like it inside the code. There's a beacon, and I was thinking, Kang, I don't know.
yeah, we'll see. We're gonna have to see about that. So cool first post credit scene. That's gonna get people hyped.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Second
for sure.
second
So
post credit scene.
the second post credit scene is more like a post credit scene because it's a completely different scene. It's the 10 rings. Oh no, not the 10 rings. Sorry, it's Xiaoling, right?
Uh huh.
And she's just there. Which, by the way, I thought it was gonna be like Valentina or something, but no, it's just Xiaoling. She's like working out or whatever, and then someone comes to get her, and they like escort her, and she goes and she sits down, and it's the throne that Wenwu would sit down on, and then Razor Fist comes out, and it's basically now she took over the 10 rings,
Mm-hmm.
so now she's the leader of the 10 rings, and then they're training
Conflict.
guys and girls equally, and it just backs out, and it just looks badass. Like, and I was like, dope,
You
because
think there'll be conflict between her and Shang now?
I think so. Because to me, I was like, this is probably setting up Shang-Chi too. Um, I mean, they were on good terms, you know, but
But she's very ruthless.
she's ruthless. Yeah, she's not a hero. She's more like an anti-hero, I would say. You know,
Yeah.
she was killing people, and I don't know what her agenda is. I don't know exactly what she wants to do. But yeah, the ten rings are still well and alive, and they're under her control now. And it just zooms out, and you see, and it's playing this badass music, and then it cuts to like black. It shows the 10 rings, and it says the 10 rings will return.
She has the 10 rings?
No, the 10 rings, the as the group. That's the group's
Oh
name.
yeah, yeah, okay, okay. I was
Yeah.
about to say, doesn't Shang? Yeah, okay.
Shang-Chi has the
Shang-Chi.
weapon 10 rings, and she has
The
the
group.
Ten Rings clan or
Yeah.
whatever.
How
So
crazy would it have been if Iron Fist made an appearance?
every time I was telling you that they're this in this other realm, I was thinking of that fucking what's it, Kung Lao or whatever.
His name's Danny Ray.
No, no, but I was thinking of the realm where he would like fight or the place. Um,
Oh yeah. You thought he would be
so,
there.
yeah, I thought it would be something connecting to that. But yeah,
They definitely don't want to
it
use the
wasn't
same
great.
actor.
No, they don't.
But I'm
But
glad that
yeah,
they got Charlie Cox coming back for Spider-Man.
oh, for real.
I can't
But
wait for
that's a
that.
conversation for tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a whole thing tomorrow. Man, we're well over. We're almost at a hour 30. Thank you, Mr. Marvel Albert here. Awesome to get that get to watch it before all of us.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
crazy.
people like spoilers, so they want to know what's going to happen in the movie. That doesn't even take it away from the movie. Like you could hear
Mm-mm.
about it, but when you watch it, it's a little bit different because you're actually visually seeing what's going on. I'm very interested to see this protagonist, Shang-Chi's dad, Shang-Chi himself. So thank you for breaking that down, letting us know the post-credit scenes. I can't wait to see them too. So tomorrow we will be back. What if episode 3? We'll be talking about that. And then we'll be talking about, of course, a huge dose of Spider-Man. The No Way Home trailer hit. There is a first look. I saw the Sinister Six. I saw Sandman, Lizard, Goblin's voice, Doc Ock,
Electro.
Electro,
Hmm.
and I think maybe Mysterio. There's a
Or it could also be fucking Vulture, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. So there's a lot to talk about to break down in that trailer because even though it was a little tease, it's pretty awesome. And then also talk about the future because they still have Venom. Was it Mobius?
Yeah, not Mobius.
Morbius, I believe.
Morbius.
Yes, Morbius. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We'll let you. You'll be able to check it out. I'll post it and we'll. What time are you thinking, Albert? Tomorrow, 3 again.
Yeah, 3.
3 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific time. Check it out. We're going to be diving into that. So thank you guys for listening. We wanted to get the spoilers out for you, but go ahead and go check out Shang-Chi when it does hit theaters. It's only in theaters. You cannot watch it on Disney Plus. So go check that out. Go support the movie. And yeah, and then come back to us and let us know on your thoughts. You can go ahead and comment on this video below. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Marvel Albert over there.